They handed it to, lowered the shoulder into the end zone. He walked into the end zone. Touchdown in Jacksonville. Strikes first. Dropping his Stroud. Fires middle of the field. Wide open. That's Nico Collins. Ball fumble. The ball came out and the Jags have it. The ball came out and Devin Lloyd has it. It was a fumble and right to Devin Lloyd. And the Jags take over. What a gigantic play by the Jaguars defense. They give it to Travis Etienne. Picks his way to the 5. He's going to walk into the end zone. He walked into the end zone. A 10-yard touchdown run. And the Jags have taken the lead with 1:48 to play in the game. He gets hit as he let it go. The ball's floating up there. The ball is picked off. The Jags, I believe it, picked it off. The Jags have picked it off. The Jags have picked it off. They take over at their own 4-yard line. What a play. They hit him as he let it go. It was picked off. Antonio Johnson has the pick.
Defense kept us in it, and they played their tails off offensively, found a way to have 75 yards rushing in the second half, which obviously we didn't have much in the first. Etienne played his tail off, and then those guys make a play at the end of the game versus zero blitz, and it got it, in a huge moment. So very proud of this group. They played their tails off and kept competing.
1010XL 92.5 FM presents Jaguars Today with your hosts Mike Dempsey, Tony Smith, and Dylan Denmark.
All right, good morning, everybody. We are continuing to compete here on Jaguars Today as we move towards Week 4 in the National Football League. It'll be here tomorrow, but for the Jags, it'll arrive Sunday in San Francisco. Good morning, Tony Smith.
Good morning.
The Jags going to San Fran in a game that I think when the schedule comes out and everyone plays the same thing, win-loss, and we go through the whole thing, most people, not everybody, but most people had the next 2 weeks as losses. San Francisco and then Kansas City at home. Now, Kansas City does not look like the Kansas City of old. In fact, if they lose to Baltimore this week, they're 1-3 to start the year. San Fran doesn't look like the San Fran of a few years ago, but they are undefeated and finding ways to win. I feel like these are just two great opportunity games for the Jags to, even no matter if you had them beating Cincinnati, not beating Cincinnati, that these are games that you can make up ground that you didn't expect to be able to make up.
Yeah, I remember we were having the conversation a few weeks ago, right? Coming out of the Carolina win in Week 1, looking at the next 4 games on the schedule going through Monday Night Football, right? And the idea being if they were going to go 2-2 in this stretch, we said one of those wins has to be Houston.
Absolutely.
Right? Like one of them has to be Houston. Well, they could have gotten there already, right? If the Bengals game had gone the way it probably should have, that day, but they didn't. So they're 2-1, and now it's the other side, the other half of those 4 games that we were talking about in that run. And you look at it, and Kansas City's the more important of the games they're going to be playing the next 2 weeks because that is a conference game, right? So from a standing standpoint, that would be the game that is more important. And I do think looking at where those two teams are right now, the 49ers and the Chiefs, I think the Chiefs at home are an easier game.
I do too.
Right now than San Francisco is. So it is what it is.
The team's thinking we're going to beat San Francisco and then we're going to come back and we're going to beat Kansas City, right? Yeah. And even if they're thinking that far ahead, right? So there's no you're allowed to win both.
Yeah.
If you outplay them and you get a few breaks and you execute at key times. So today we'll dig into what San Francisco is facing when they host the Jags this week. They are undefeated, but man, have they gone through the ringer playing their backup quarterback, Mac Jones, in 2 or 3 games, playing without George Kittle since early in Week 1, playing without Brandon Ayuk for the entirety of the 3 games and for at least 3 more, playing without Juwan Jennings this past week. I mean, these are all key offensive starters, for that football team, and they're just finding ways to scrape by. I don't think their defense is great. They lose Nick Bosa now.
Yeah.
Which is...
Maybe that's the one that finally breaks them.
Maybe it is, because I don't know how you replace Nick Bosa.
Like, it's hard to predict with the 49ers, though, because they are a team that, to this point this year, and again, the Bosa thing is it looms so large on what this game could turn out to be, but they've been very comfortable being uncomfortable. Right? Like, they've just dealt with whatever's been thrown at them. Here in the first 3 weeks of the season, they lose Kittle, no big deal. Right? They've never had Ayuk, no big deal. They've let Deebo Samuel go in this offseason, no big deal. right? They lose their quarterback for a couple weeks. No big deal, right? Like, they just find a way to keep moving forward with all of these different things going on. But outside of the Kittle thing, I don't think they've lost anything that's anywhere close to what's not going to be on the field with Bosa.
I don't know, man. Purdy to Mac Jones, to me, is a pretty big gulf.
It's a big gulf, but I think it's the way Shanahan runs that offense can make it more comfortable for a guy like Mac Jones, right? Like, I do think there's something to that. I don't know. They can kind of replace what Purdy does in the offense with Mac Jones. They can't exactly replace it. They don't have three guys on the roster that can give you what Bosa gives you on one guy, right? Like, it's not there. And I don't know how you replace it as far as the impact that he's going to be able to have on the field. And it would have been a fun test, I think, with where the offensive line has been to this point this season, but I'm okay with it not happening yet, right, for these guys along the offensive line, because Bosa is the guy that can wreck a game. Hendrickson did a couple of weeks ago. Right, when everything was said and done, he
made a couple of key plays.
Big, impactful plays.
Yeah, I didn't feel like he wrecked that game, though.
No, Jacksonville still should have won the game. But this is a game where you play that kind of game again against San Francisco, odds are Bosa's going to be in the middle of the deciding moments of that game for the 49ers on defense. They don't have that available to them.
Obviously not going to happen this week. So Matt Mayoko going to join us coming up here in just a few minutes from NBC Sports in the Bay Area. John Oer in hour number 2. Through 3 weeks, we ask you today, which Jaguars' overall performance has most exceeded your expectations? This is similar to what we did coming out of the first win, but this is now a 3-week sample. Who's trending in the right direction? This is not a poll. This is just drop a name and tell us who you think is outperforming what you had hoped or expected to see out of them. I think there are a lot of strong candidates, and we'll get into a number of them as this first hour plays out. If you want to get in today after Matt Mayoko joins us, you're welcome to on the Checkmate Coatings phone lines at 641-1010. Also the same number, 641-1010, for the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures. You can hop in the YouTube virtual studio and chat away in there. You can stream us on Twitter, on Facebook, or find us on social media at MD_1010XL, at 1010XL Fat Tony, and at 1010XL.
Ain't no laws when you're drinking claws, baby.
I had a dramatic pause coming right there.
I pulled the trigger.
You did pull the trigger. How are you this morning?
I'm good. Man? I got a decision to make tomorrow.
Oh?
So D-Rock, since he will not be here tomorrow, he gave me $40.
Yeah.
Now, for the $40, do I go off the dollar menu?
Yeah,
and,
buy a box of cereal and then pocket the rest.
Yeah, or do we go all out and burn that?
I don't know. All I know is you're a better man than I. There's no way in hell I was going to go pick up breakfast, even if D-Rock gave me a nice little tip on top, man. That's part of the punishment, is having to go leave the house early and sit in the drive-thru. So D-Rock's going to scoot off to the West Coast tomorrow. He will participate in the breakfast bowl, but I guess it's okay that he sent money along for breakfast. But I don't know. That's up to you. You're in charge of the breakfast now tomorrow, so you'll have to let us know what option you choose. But that's really on you and D-Rock at this point. All right, we'll come back with Matt Mayoko from NBC Sports out on the West Coast and dig into the situation the San Francisco 49ers find themselves in. Undefeated but banged up heading into Week 4 when they'll host your Jacksonville Jaguars. You're listening to Jaguars Today. Mike Dempsey, Tony Smith, and Dylan Denmark on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today from the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios. Hayes Carline is our special agent. He goes into the locker room to uncover insights about your favorite football team.
His mission is to bring it back to you on 1010XL.
Special ops support by Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors.
Join Jim Furyk and other legends of the PGA Tour for the Constellation Furyk and Friends, presented by Circle K, October 3rd through 5th at Timuquana Country Club. Catch the new community concert series on the 17th hole after play, featuring country artists Low Cash and Love and Theft. Public parking is free with complimentary tournament access for military, courtesy of ViStar Credit Union. Get tickets now for the Constellation Furyk and Friends, presented by Circle K, starting at just $25 at Ticketmaster.
It's a Weight Loss Wednesday
on Jaguars Today.
Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
Jacksonville, All Elite Wrestling is coming home to Daly's Place
Brace for 2 huge nights. Dynamite Title Tuesday, October 7th. And as special Wednesday Collision, October 8th. Feel the real as the greatest professional wrestlers in the world deliver a homecoming to remember. Championships at stake on a Tuesday. And stars collide on a special night. It's AEW's Homecoming with Dynamite Title Tuesday, October 7th. And Collision, October 8th. Tickets on sale now, starting at $20 at AEWTIX.com.
When it comes to my opinion, I love dropping the hammer. I'm Hayes Carlyon. Listen for Hammer Time with Hayes weekdays on The Frangie Show.
Hammer Time with Hayes, driven by Kia on Atlantic. Check us out at KiaOnAtlantic.com.
We're certainly facing interesting economic times. For me, it's comforting to know my money's in good hands with ITP Partners. Jacksonville guys taking care of my Jacksonville money. Experience? Yeah, that's Chris Bryan, Jeff Hartman, Reagan Wright, Dan Abel, Scott Regner, Janice Cobb, and Reed Wingate. They have the expertise and knowledge to take care of your money. For more info, go to ITPPartners.com. ITP Partners, they're my financial partners for life.
Non-compensated client testimonial may not be representative of all client experiences. No guarantee of future performance or success.
Hi, I'm Sean Monahan from Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach. Since 1977, we've been Jacksonville's local family jeweler with a beautiful selection of fine jewelry and certified diamonds. But we're also Jacksonville's leading buyer of gold, silver, and diamonds from the public. Gold has recently hit an all-time high at over $3,600 per ounce. Pay bills, buy something fun. Now is the time to sell your gold for cash and get top dollar, or trade it in for a new piece and get even more value at Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach.
Jacksonville is football season, and Duck Duck Rooter is proud to be on your home team. As a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars, we tackle plumbing, septic, and air conditioning problems with championship-level service. Keep an eye out for our custom Jaguar wrap plumbing vans rolling around town. They're hard to miss and always ready for the next play at your home or business. With thousands of 5-star Google reviews and the only master septic contractor in Northeast Florida, trust Duck Duck Rooter to keep you in the game. Call 904-862-6769 or visit DuckDuckRooter.com. Duck Duck Rooter, when you're stuck, call the Duck.
I'm with Greg from Cycles of Jacksonville. I always brag on what you guys have on-road and off-road. But, Greg, tell everybody about what's happening on the water, because you got loads of opportunity.
We do. We've got lots of boats in stock. We got the Honda 19-foot Fisher Runabout. We've got the Coach pontoons, all of them with that legendary Honda motor and legendary Honda reliability, which you always want when you're out on the water.
You could be cruising along the Intercoastal or out on the ocean, but check it out. Facebook page ready for all of you to see, Cycles of Jacksonville, or their showroom on Atlantic near Regency.
Hey, it's Angela and Brian Wall. How many companies do you know in this day and age that actually want their potential customers to call their competition and get quotes from them?
That's what WindoWorld wants you to do. WindoWorld knows there are other window companies out there, but we also know those other guys. When compared to WindoWorld, they can't offer you the quality at the price that WindoWorld can.
And with WindoWorld, you get the absolute best guarantee there is in the window replacement business.
If anything goes wrong with your new WindoWorld windows, 5 years from now, 10, 15, 50, WindoWorld and I will be there to fix it for you. You get peace of mind with WindoWorld, and to top it off, WindoWorld windows increase the value of your home. So look what you get with WindoWorld. Quality windows, low price, the best guarantee in the business, energy savings, and an increase in the value of your home. A win-win for you.
Call WindoWorld today and get your free in-home estimate, or see them online at WindoWorldNEFlorida.com.
WindoWorld, simply the best for less. Thank you for your business.
WindoWorld also offers energy-efficient doors.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch. Now, another great guest on the Checkmate Coatings phone line.
Hello.
Your floor's missing piece.
Joining us now to take a look at this week's opponent, the San Francisco 49ers, Matt Mayoko, who's covered that team for over 3 decades now, most recently with NBC Sports in the Bay Area. Matt, I think it's appropriate. Good morning. Thanks for getting up early with us. How are you?
I'm doing good, although this team that I cover, the 49ers, 3-0, so on the surface it looks good, but they're going through some issues right now, and I'm sure we'll be talking all about Nick Bosa and other health-related situations they have going on.
Well, you are prescient, sir. You're exactly right. 3-0 is impressive under the conditions, particularly playing with a backup quarterback, but the big blow does come. Nick Bosa with a torn ACL that ends his season. I mean, obviously, it's beneficial for the Jags' game planning, but it's a massive blow to lose him. How do the 49ers try to replicate what he gives that team on game day?
I just don't think they can. I mean, I think even when the season started, when I looked at where the 49ers were just from a roster standpoint, it was Nick Bosa as an edge rusher, and then who else? Who else is going to step up and put up some decent sack numbers and pressures and hits on the quarterback? And it was really difficult to find that guy. Now, they think that Bryce Huff can be that person. He had a good season in 2023 with Robert Saleh with the Jets, signs a big money deal with the Eagles. That just did not work out last year, to the point that the Eagles gave him up to the 49ers for a 5th-round pick and are also eating half of his salary. Now, he's gotten off to a good start so far. He closed out the game against the Saints with a sack on 4th down. He had a good game on Sunday against the Arizona Cardinals, but we're talking about two completely different styles of defensive ends where, Bryce Huff is more of a situational pass rusher. Bosa was, rarely came off the field, good on 1st down, 2nd downs, and of course, we all know how good he is getting after the quarterback too. So I kind of look at it from the same realm of when the 49ers lost George Kittle week 1. They're using 2 guys to replace him, and those guys have done a pretty good job. Luke Farrell, obviously, who you know very well, and also Jake Tonjes. And now, combined, they don't come close to Kittle, but at least they kind of get in the ballpark a little bit. So with the 49ers, they've had 9 defensive linemen active for the first 3 games. And so it's really turning to those other 8 guys to just fit into a rotation. A lot of it is up to Robert Saleh to kind of figure out where these guys are best suited, what situations, and then they go from there. But, huge shoes to fill losing Bosa for the season.
Is the expectation that Brock Purdy will be back for the 49ers this week?
As we head into the week, yes. A lot of it will just have to do with how he feels Wednesday when they get out there a little bit later. Is he able to go through a full practice? Last week he was limited, so he showed that he was making a lot of progress off of his turf toe, which is nothing at all similar to what Joe Burrow is going through with his turf toe. This is a much lesser degree of injury, and then I guess probably more to the point would be when Brock Purdy wakes up on Thursday. How does he feel? But I know the expectation was that it was going to be close, whether he could put on a uniform for the Week 3 game against Arizona. And the thought all along was the way he was trending and improving, it was looking pretty good for him stepping back out there against Jacksonville on Sunday.
Yeah, I would expect that is the case. At least that's how we're operating this week, is if Purdy will be there. Juwan Jennings didn't practice last week and wasn't able to suit up. Where is he in his effort to get back on the field?
Yeah, that one I think is a little bit more iffy. An ankle sprain. I don't believe it's a high ankle sprain, so that's good news for him. But yeah, the fact that he wasn't even able to get out there and practice, it just kind of remains to be seen. Kendrick Bourne, the 49ers signed him on the Monday before the Week 2 game, and he ended up just immediately becoming their number 3 receiver behind Ricky Pearsall and Juwan Jennings. And so he's a little bit iffy, but the 49ers do get Demarcus Robinson back. He was a 17-game starter with the Rams last year. He served a suspension for the first 3 games of the season for a violation of the league's policy on substances of abuse. So they're getting, they're losing some guys, most notably Bosa, of course, but they should be getting some guys back, Robinson and Purdy. And then down the line, Kittle's on IR. He has to miss another 2 games. And then we'll see where he is with the hamstring injury. And then further down the line, Brandon Ayuk should be back at some point as well.
Josh Hines-Allen and Trayvon Walker have pretty much lived in the offensive backfield through the first 3 weeks of the season. This week appears to be a much tougher test with Trent Williams being there at left tackle for the 49ers. He was only able to play in 10 games last year. He was a first-team All-Pro 3 straight seasons before that. Is the 37-year-old of Trent Williams still playing at that kind of All-Pro level at left tackle?
He struggled week 1 against Seattle. Probably one of his worst games since he's been a member of the 49ers. But then he did bounce back and played very well against the Saints week 2 and a pretty good job as well. So he's one guy that I don't think anybody with the 49ers even worries about. The right tackle, Colton McKivitz, is pretty good as well. Probably a top 10 offensive or right tackle in the NFL. Where the 49ers seem to be vulnerable right now is with their interior guys, the two guards, the center. They can get out and run a little bit with their 49ers zone blocking scheme, which creates some seams for Christian McCaffrey. They're starting a rookie at left guard, Connor Colby, 7th-round pick from Iowa. He impressed them. He's done a good job putting himself in the position to win a roster spot and then be considered their top backup at the both guard spots. But he struggled last week against the Arizona Cardinals. So I would think as Jacksonville prepares for this game, as they game plan it, they're going to try to figure out a way to maybe try to exploit the 49ers interior offensive line and try to get pressure up the middle against Purdy, assuming Purdy's out there.
I'm talking here with Matt Mayoko, NBC Sports in the Bay Area. San Francisco getting set to host the Jaguars on Sunday. Matt, Christian McCaffrey, you mentioned him once or twice. Where is he compared to the best you've seen him in a 49er uniform in terms of health, explosiveness, just how he looks in general?
Well, I think he's looked pretty good. That the explosive plays haven't been there, and the yards per carry kind of down. I think he's around 3.1, but it kind of has looked like they're on the verge of popping a big one. I think a lot of it has to do with how defenses are playing them. Even kind of week 1 when the 49ers played the Seahawks, I don't know. It's almost like teams are daring the 49ers to throw the ball or at least trying to take the running game away from them. I think we definitely saw that after Mac Jones entered the lineup against the Saints and then this game against Arizona. So McCaffrey right now is being used, in essence, more as a threat in the passing game than he is in the running game, which, it's not a huge shock. It's not like we're just figuring out all of a sudden that he can catch passes and get yards through the air. But the way that they're doing it, I think it's 37 yards more for Christian McCaffrey receiving than rushing. And, even though he didn't have a big game, he's been steady. It's like 50 yards rushing, 50 yards receiving pretty much every game through 3 games. And then the 49ers pull off a really impressive 2-minute drill to win the game with a walk-off kick. And the play that got them down there to make it, more of a chip shot was, I believe, the 49ers' only screen pass of the game, dumped it off to McCaffrey and kind of weaved his way down the field for 20 yards to set up the game-winning points. But, I think that any team that game plans against the 49ers, their number one priority is just know where number 23 is lining up and accounting for him both in the running game and the passing game.
McCaffrey may be the answer here, but where do you think the 49ers hold the biggest advantage going into this matchup on Sunday?
Boy, that's a great question. Where do they hold the biggest advantage? It might be that. It also might be just kind of the unexpected, like the book is out on the 49ers. Everybody knows what they do, but with so many new faces, defensively, the 49ers are so young. And so what Robert Saleh has had to do is he's had to get more creative than the first time Robert Saleh was here as a defensive coordinator. Back in those days, 2019, when the 49ers went to the Super Bowl, it was a 4-man pass rush with Bosa, D. Ford, DeForest Buckner, and Eric Armstead, and they rarely blitzed. And they just played cover 3, and they were just it was like, hey, here's what we're going to do defensively. Good luck trying to get any yards on us. That was basically what they did. Now, they don't have that dominant front four. And so they're rotating 8-9 guys as part of a defensive line rotation. They're young in the defensive backfield. There's some guys there. They're young up front. They have a third-year linebacker, D. Winters, who's playing very well, lining up alongside Fred Warner. They're doing different things defensively, whereas it might be Luke Gifford as the Sam linebacker, playing 15, 25 snaps a game, or he just might not play at all, and they go big nickel with Jair Brown. Their nickelback, Upton Stout, a rookie, made a huge play in this game. So, I think I would think that from a tactical standpoint of what Liam Cohen is up against, it's maybe a little bit of not knowing what to expect and dialing up some pressures that the 49ers haven't been known to do in the past. So that might be it. I mean, their defense, 49ers defense, has played very well through 3 games, and I would say far exceeded expectations with as many young guys, as many new faces. But Robert Saleh is definitely earning his money as defensive coordinator.
All right, so quickly on the other side of it, from your perspective, watching what you know about the Jaguars, what is the area of this team here in Jacksonville, or the one player or the hookup or whatever it is that San Francisco should be on highest alert for?
Well, the 49ers defensively, I just kind of raved about how well they played. One thing they don't do, they don't take the ball away. They haven't had an interception since like week 13 of last season. Think about that. Now, they don't give up big plays, but they also don't make big plays. So, as long as I think there's going to be a lot of patience that Trevor Lawrence is going to have to show. He's not going to be able to hit the big one down the field. I mean, there will be opportunities for him to take his shots, but they're going to really have to set that thing up. So, from the Jaguar standpoint, it's getting the ball out quickly and getting the ball into the hands of Brian Thomas. He's still on the team, right?
He is still on the team, yes, and hopefully bringing a fresh pair of hands with him this week.
Okay, very good. And then, it'll be intriguing. I'm sure everybody, when we get into the locker room and start talking to the coaches this week, a lot of questions about Travis Hunter and how he's being deployed. But I think that, the Jaguars are, I would consider them at this point kind of a sneaky, dangerous team. A team that's looked like it's done enough to win some games and will continue to win some games. And right now with that division, with Houston taking a huge drop off, it appears that division is wide open for certainly the Jags and the Colts to make their move this season.
Yeah, don't try to redeem yourself now, buddy. Jaguars Twitter is going to be all over you now after this airs, and your commentary about Mr. Brian Thomas Jr. Hey, look, he's been hearing it here in Jacksonville as well.
Yeah, I mean, well, I'm just my wife keeps me abreast of what's going on with Brian Thomas Jr. because he is on her team.
Knew it.
And she's going, what's going on? Why isn't he producing more than 7 catches for 115 yards through 3 games? So she's I've had to talk her down from like, do I release him? What do I do?
Tell the lovely missus we'll do everything we can to help her fantasy squad out this week if the 49ers cooperate.
I will definitely pass that along. Comforting words.
Yeah, no doubt. Hey, well, one way or the other, man, we don't play the games. We just watch and see how it all plays out. But, Matt, we appreciate your expertise. Again, over 3 decades now covering the 49ers right now with NBC Sports in the Bay Area. You can find Matt at Mayoko NBCS on Twitter and spelled just like you'd expect, Maicco.
Yeah.
Matt, how else would you spell it? Come on. We appreciate it, man. Enjoy the game this week, and thanks for taking a little time out with us.
My pleasure. And the one thing I think I can guarantee you is it'll be probably low scoring and it'll be close. That's the way the 49ers play. And so I'm expecting a good one. It might not be scintillating football all the way through, but when the fourth quarter rolls around, I think the game will be hanging in the balance.
Well, we'll find out, and hopefully the Jags will come out on top. Thanks again to Matt Mayoko of NBC Sports in the Bay Area. Tony and I will come back, Tone, and let's dig into some of these players that maybe have exceeded our expectations. We'll start on the offensive side, and then John Oer at the top of the hour from Jaguars.com joins the conversation. You can as well at 641-1010 on the Checkmate Coatings phone lines on 1010XL 92.5 FM. Hey, folks, Mike Dempsey here for Pella Windows and Doors. Proud to have them in my house, making my house look fantastic. Resale value is up. The house feels great because it's much more energy efficient as well. Now's a great time to upgrade your home with Pella Windows and Doors as well. With 0% financing for up to 72 months, that's 6 years of interest-free payments on the best windows and doors in the business. Schedule a free consultation at PellaJacks.com or stop by the showroom on Phillips Highway just north of Bay Meadows for quality you can trust and savings you can't miss. That's Pella Windows and Doors.
Jaguars Today.
From the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios at 1010XL.
Introducing the Jag Stack at Firehouse Subs. So bold, it's named after the home team. Stacked with honey ham, smoked turkey, roast beef, provolone, fresh veggies, and the new Duval drizzle sauce. For a limited time at your local Firehouse Subs, there's only one hottest sub in Duval.
It's a Weight Loss Wednesday on Jaguars Today. Awaken 180 Weight Loss, your long-term solution for weight loss.
When you head out for a night with friends or going to the big game, don't forget the best game plan to win the night is to designate a driver and guarantee a safe ride home. Hydrating between buds is the best play you can make. Bud Light, reminding all to drink wiser.
Here's what the car insurance companies may think they know after a car crash. They know you probably don't know what your claim is worth, or how to calculate pain and suffering, lost wages and future earnings, current and future medical expenses, or diminished value to your car. But guess what? We do. And if we don't win your case, you owe us nothing. For a fairer fight, you know who to call. Farah and Farah. Jacksonville.
Hidden Hills Golf Club on Monument Road has a little bit of something for everyone. So whether you want to practice, play, or just relax with friends at the Hills Grill, Hidden Hills is the place for you. Check us out at hiddenhillsgc.com.
Hey, David again here with Royal Pet Services. It's that time of year when rodents start making their way into our homes. Layson, tell them what they need to get in.
A quarter-size hole.
That's right. That's all they need. Hey, tell them where to go for a free attic and exterior inspection.
Visit RoyalPetServices.com.
We know what to look for. We go right to the source, the connections. But yeah, we go directly to the source.
Dan and John Lupo at Beards Diamonds talking about what it means to be a direct diamond importer.
We do a lot of business out of India. We do a lot of business out of Antwerp, Belgium, Israel, Africa as well. We will do whatever it takes to get the stone that the customer wants at the best price guaranteed.
So every diamond at Beards is hand-picked and brought in with no third-party markups. And so with no commission salespeople and no Wall Street quotas, Beards can price every diamond for less.
If they've been shopping, which we encourage, and then come to us, and they're kind of, at first, they're like, oh, why is this $5,000 or $7,000 less?
Best value guarantee, best selection guarantee, best experience, bar none, guaranteed. From Jacksonville's locally owned Diamond Powerhouse.
The family, the relaxed atmosphere, and we're there for each other.
It gives us a big advantage being local, and we love Jacksonville. The money stays in Jacksonville, by the way.
Beards Diamonds in St. John's Town Center and online at beardsdiamonds.com.
Right now, they're on their way to disrupt your life, make you uncomfortable, and rob you. Don't bother calling the police. They can't help. That's right. Summer heat and humidity are about to attack North Florida again. You know what to do. Call Mike Merritt. Mike Merritt's Heating and Air has a license to chill. When heat and humidity are attacking you, Mike Merritt provides a comfortable chill at a bargain price. Mike has been keeping North Florida comfortable for 30 years. Mike Merritt technicians are never paid commissions, meaning you'll never be pressured to buy something you don't need. And Mike Merritt knows cooling issues can arise anytime. They don't just happen during business hours. So Mike Merritt never charges overtime fees. When you need us, we're here for you. Remember, in the fight against heat and humidity, Mike Merritt has a license to chill. Visit meritair.com. Florida license number CACO 50384.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. Jaguars Today on 1010XL.
All right, well, Liam Cohen wants to keep it close to the vest on De'Ami Brown, apparently, Tony. I don't read that as good news, but then again, I'm a pessimist by nature, I think. But looking at Demetrius Harvey, who's at the Liam Cohen presser, is it wrapped up, Dylan, do we think?
It started less than 10 minutes ago.
Okay, so he's probably still talking.
Yeah, another 5 minutes probably.
All right, Demetrius Harvey of the Florida Times-Union tweeting out that Jaguars head coach Liam Cohen says he does not have an update on wide receiver De'Ami Brown. And so as Demetrius continues, we'll find out more when the injury report comes out, which at least we'll know, did he practice? I mean, if you don't have an update on him, I'm going to guess he's not practicing, right? I mean,
that would be my guess.
That would be the guess. And he did not want to say whether it's a long-term injury or not. So, okay. I mean, again, we'll find out practice participation and things like that as the week goes on. And I think NFL coaches, I think sports coaches really obsess about this kind of thing, right? We don't want our opponent to have any extra information. It may not be the case, but I do think that happens a lot where they're not willing to share this because they think it gives them a competitive disadvantage, something like that. I mean, you're going to know by Friday probably whether De'Ami Brown is playing in this game.
Yeah, you would think.
If he doesn't practice for the next 3 days. So I hope for the best for him to get back as quickly as possible.
Maybe if you, you can look at it from a team perspective where if they make the 49ers waste 2 reps at practice for De'Ami Brown, then that's 2 that they wouldn't have, right? And as silly as that kind of thing is, but that's how they look at that kind of thing.
Denmark, how would the Baldwin Indians handle needing 2 extra reps to prepare for their upcoming opponent?
It'd be a waste of 2 minutes of our lives, and we'll move on.
Would you extend practice by 2 minutes?
No.
You would not?
No. It would.
Would you have that option, though, if you wanted
would
to?
add 2 minutes to the sprints at the end of at the end of practice, and then Coach Don would have 2 minutes less to talk at the end of practice.
Well, I think they'd probably manage somehow or other. All right, let's get into, Tony, some guys. Our question of the day, presented by Chad and Sandy Real Estate, is players that have exceeded your expectations through the first 3 weeks of it. So let's start on the offensive side. Why don't we start here with today's 10-10 take, Dylan?
10-10 take.
Now, Mike Dempsey's 10-10 take is serviced by Ideal Conditions Heating and Air, your go-to local HVAC company, veteran owned and operated.
You always got to start with what are your expectations, right? Did someone exceed those expectations? And for me, there are maybe 3 to 4 guys on the offense that have done that because I expect certain things, some certain levels of performance. For instance, I don't think Trevor Lawrence has exceeded my expectations to this point. I do think Travis Etienne has exceeded my expectations. I know he has because I know what I expected. I still think Bajal Tootin may be the primary guy in this backfield before the season's over, but Etienne has certainly started the season off on a good foot, and I know it was tough sledding against Houston this week. It was interesting with the 5-man front that they ran. If San Fran is going to dip into that a little bit this week and really lean into stuffing the run with the Jags, particularly without Nick Bosa in the game.
I would if I were a Jags opponent.
Why wouldn't you?
For now, until the guys, when it hits their hands, they start hauling it in, I'd play it that way.
The guy for me, though, Tony, I don't know if you'll agree with this or not, that has probably exceeded my expectations the most is Anton Harrison, who has played, I think, the kind of football we'd hope he would play when he was first drafted by the Jags in the first round. I think even exceeding what he did as a rookie, he has been, I don't want to say flawless, but nearly perfect when it comes to not allowing pressures coming off his side. And I get it. You had Trey Hendrickson lining up on Walker Little a little bit more. Cincinnati doesn't have another guy, but Houston does have 2 guys. And Walker Little surrendered a bunch of pressures, and Anton Harrison didn't. And to me, he, along with maybe Hainsey and Cleveland on the offensive line, and Travis Etienne, and maybe I guess you could throw Brenton Strange and Parker Washington in there to some degree. I don't know if Brenton Strange has exceeded my expectations, but he's fulfilling them. Parker Washington has probably earned more opportunities because he has done a little bit more. But to me, Harrison is the one that really stands out on offense.
Harrison is an interesting one. I put together a list of 5. I treated it like a top 5 Tuesday here, but it was on both sides of the ball, right? So it's just my top 5 guys, right, that I think have most exceeded my expectations on the roster. I didn't think too much about the order necessarily to put them in on my list, but I did have 2 guys on offense and 3 on defense, right? When I finally got my list together, Etienne was one of my 5.
Okay.
And I had the other offensive guy I had was Hainsey.
Okay.
Right. And it was more my expectation when they signed him compared to what he's been since we've actually gotten him here. Right. And he's a guy that was apparently effective enough with everything that was going on, new offense, all that was happening. The offensive line has had the success that it's had to this point this season. He's a team captain. Right, like it's his first year here, and they elected him a team captain. So I do give him the edge there. I think Anton's an interesting conversation because he's playing this year like I thought he would play last year. Right, like it was after what we saw out of him his rookie year. It was okay. This is an emerging guy,
right,
at the tackle spot for him. He didn't play like that last year, so he's back to being that guy. So I think it's completely fair to have him on this kind of list. I thought all the conversations we had throughout after Coach said what he said about him, right? And how's he going to react to this once we get to camp? It's one of those big stories we were looking for once we got to camp. And what you saw was that's over, right? Like whatever the message was, it's been received. Anton's back. It's kind of the way that I felt about it, like going through camp and the preseason. And obviously in the regular season, he's been great.
I think those comments, though, are what put Anton on a lot of people's radars.
No doubt.
Right? And granted, we can go back to the beginning of last year. Yes, our expectations were one thing, but then he didn't live up to them. And then you have the coach singling him out. You have the offensive line coach singling him out. And, yeah, he's responded. But I think there were questions about would he kind of midsummer based on the fact that they needed to kind of give a little public fire lit under his backside, and he has done a great job.
Yes,
responding to that. So for me, and here's a guy, Tony, at 2, they moved him around a little bit, tried some different combinations. A lot of that may have been, let's see if we've got a better alternative to Walker Little or the better alternative to the combination of what we got. And maybe Anton was going to be one of those guys the whole way. But I did not expect him to necessarily take off the way he has through the first 3 weeks of the season. Hope he keeps it up. And we all believe, I think, here that he's the most talented offensive lineman that they have, and he's playing like it right now. We'll get into the defensive side a little bit on the other side. You can submit your nominees for the player that is most exceeding your expectations through the first 3 weeks of the season. Hit us up on social media or on the phone lines, the Checkmate Coatings phone lines at 641-1010. You're listening to Jaguars Today. Keep it right here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Jaguars
Today.
From the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios of 1010XL.
Looking out over that Golden Gate Bridge.
It's a gold rush to the Golden Gate. Duval Pride takes a long ride to the Golden State.
Let's go!
Jaguars 49ers. It's a make a statement kind of game. Sunday at 4 on the home of the Jaguars. 1010XL.
Southside Kia is now Kia on Atlantic. New name, new location, same great deals. And we're ready for you. We're going all out with end of summer savings. Like new Kia starting at $20K. Plus, make no payments for 90 days. Or you can even hit the road with financing rates as low as 0. It's not too late. Online at KiaOnAtlantic.com. Kia on Atlantic, your coastal Kia connection. For complete details, call 904-250-0587.
It's a Weight Loss Wednesday on 1010XL. Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
Say goodbye to glasses and contacts with customized vision treatments at Bowden Eye & Associates. Hey, Hicken here. Dr. Bowden and his expert team bring you all the latest options like Evo implantable Coliber lenses, refractive lens exchange, or traditional LASIK. Tailored just for you. Imagine waking up to clear vision. No hassle, no fuss. You ready to see the difference? Call now or visit BowdenEye.com for a free screening. Bowden Eye & Associates, keeping the first coast focused.
This date in sports history is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On September 24th, 1988, Carl Lewis runs a world record 100 meter in 9 minutes and 92 seconds.
Expert Automotive on St. John's Bluff Road has some of the highest Google reviews in Jax for a reason. Expert Auto never sells greed, only what you need. All makes and models are serviced at Expert Automotive. This month, get an alignment inspection for only $19.99. Expert Auto does major engine and transmission repair and simple maintenance. All services done at Expert Auto by our ASC certified training technicians. Call today, 374-3373, and ask about $50 off any service. Expert Automotive. We never sell greed, only what you need. It's the start of our favorite season in Jacksonville, football season. Let's get hyped and let's get the home in tip-top shape and let's get that house zero-resified. Carpets, tile, rugs, upholstery, hardwood, they'll take care of you. Call the folks at Zero Res right now, 287-5727. Ask for the 1010XL special. Get your 3 rooms of carpet cleaned at $139 plus a 4th room free. Zero Res. Spell it forwards or backwards. It spells the same. Zero Res.
Zero Res.
Cool air and clean air. Getting out from under that Florida sun and cooling off inside is where Florida Home AC shines. Think about it. You spend a lot of time indoors and air quality is crucial to your health and comfort. Pollutants like dust, pollen, germs, and allergens can build up, affecting your well-being. Florida Home is dedicated to enhancing your indoor experience with superior air quality solutions like whole home air purification systems. Find out by logging on to FloridaHomeAC.com or call 777-4300.
Maxed out on credit cards, struggling with high interest debt? You could pay it all off in days with Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan. Hey, it's Prosser here. Get cash out now without touching your low-rate first mortgage. No appraisals, no waiting, no BS. The Rapid Equity Loan Program at Loan Pronto is amazing. One Loan Pronto client just got $300,000 approved in under 24 hours. They paid off debt, renovated their kitchen, and cut their monthly expenses by $1,800. That's a huge turnaround. Instant approvals, low rates, no hard credit pull up front. That's Loan Pronto. Listen, your home equity is yours. Use it. Get cash to consolidate your debt down to one easy, low monthly payment. Call Loan Pronto now for a free instant appraisal for your home and see how much cash you can get today. Loan Pronto is an A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau and have nearly 2,500 5-star Google reviews. Call now and start the conversation. Go to loanpronto.com or call 999-1508. That's loanpronto.com.
The Golf Club of Southampton has big plans for 2026, renewing the greens plus plenty more. But right now is the time to take advantage of member opportunities before the big renovation. Now until the end of September, you can join and save 50% off their initiation fee plus $500 back in a gift card with a 12-month commitment. All the details are at golfsouthampton.com. Playability for every skill level and a huge practice area to hone your game. Lock in now and enjoy membership privileges at the Golf Club of Southampton.
1010XL, presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch. Now, more Jaguars Today on 1010XL.
You know, at some point, we got to look at some of the guys who are not living up to the hype as well through 3 weeks, and there are some of those guys as well. Look, the Jags overall, right where I had them in the offseason, 2-1 through 3 games. You know, it should be 3-0.
Yeah, sounds like a good question for tomorrow.
It might be. Who knows? Maybe we'll do that tomorrow. Who's got to kick it into gear a little bit at this point in time? But as you look at the defensive side of the ball, I think it's, you know, Devin Lloyd jumps out at you as a guy, particularly coming off this game. And I just think in general, he's been around the ball, making plays, has not been a big liability in coverage. I'm sure he's given up a couple of completions along the way, but Devin Lloyd feels like a guy who, as Jeff Loggeman kind of describes, playing a little bit more downhill, right? They're using him as a blitzer and trying to take advantage of his athletic ability, not necessarily his coverage ability so much this year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, they're putting him in a position to succeed, and good on him for doing it. Right, and Devin Lloyd's been able to take advantage of that kind of thing. As I mentioned, my list was 5 players long. 2 of them were on offense. My 3 guys on defense, Lloyd would be the top of my list, I think. In this, if it was just one name, I think Devin Lloyd would probably top my list for the answer today. And my other 2...
And that's been the case for a lot of people.
Yeah, and my other 2, Jordan Lewis and Eric Murray.
Yep.
And
I agree with both of them.
Like the Murray thing is, it's kind of the Hainsey thing. I just didn't have any idea really what to expect, right? And it became, with Hainsey, it was he knows the offense. He's comfortable with the offense, so he's a coach on the field. Okay.
Right. There was never any of this, Hainsey has a nasty streak, and he's going to finish the play. You know what? It was
not the way
always
it was talked about.
Right. Educating the rest of the offense, much like Eric Murray was described as a guy who's going to keep everybody on the same page.
The
in
big
that
play
secondary.
stuff is going to go away. He's not going to not be where he's supposed to be. Like, that was the conversation about Murray, and he's been way more than that, right, to this point. And Jordan Lewis, my goodness. I don't know, with all the improvement we've seen on that side of the ball, I don't know how much of it even happens if Jordan Lewis isn't a member of the secondary.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. Although I did have higher expectations for him than Eric Murray. Like, I thought, here's a guy who at times has been a little bit of a playmaker, the way they described it. Like with Lewis, they're saying they thought he was one of the best nickels in the league, right? And where you didn't hear, I think Murray's one of the best safeties in the league. Murray's going to get us in the right spot and let everybody do their job properly and not think too much about it.
And thinking about it through the break, just to go back to the offensive conversation we were having for a moment, right? Specifically about Anton, and I think everyone virtually would agree right now that he's their best offensive lineman. And we had several of those kind of questions as we were going through the offseason, right? Especially getting ready for training camp. We asked those kind of things a lot. Like, who is their best offensive lineman going into camp? We asked the question about who will be their best offensive lineman coming out of the 2025 season, right? And we didn't get Anton as the answer to that much. When we asked who will be their best offensive lineman coming out of this season, the guy that we got a lot of was McCary. And the other name we heard a little bit of was Milam.
Yeah, Wyatt Milam. Because people have the optimism of the unknown.
Absolutely. And now, thinking about the question that we're asking today, in light of those kind of conversations that we had in the offseason, I would think that there's a lot of people that when they get asked that question, if they didn't just kind of gut react to it on the surface, but took the time to think about it, Anton may be at the top of a bunch of lists. Because I don't think there's a lot of doubt that Anton's going, right now he's their best offensive lineman, and that coming to the end of the season, he's going to be their best offensive lineman. And the thing we talked about for what is a successful season for Anton, we had one of those this offseason too. We want him to get the extension.
Yeah.
When we get to the end of the year, we're asking how much are they going to pay him and when, right? That would be a successful season for Anton. Well, we're well on our way to those kind of things being very much in play for Anton Harrison with the level that he's playing at right now.
Yeah, I think the other guy, again, we mentioned Hainsey, but Ezra Cleveland has, been rock solid, solidified himself as being worth every penny of the contract that,
absolutely,
wait for it, Trent Baalke signed him to, right? I mean, every move he made wasn't a mistake. And Ezra is, now you could have looked at it like, hey, he's trying to validate a guy that he traded for.
We're not all desperate for Milam to get healthy.
No.
Right? Like, Ezra's playing at a level where it's like Milam will get back when Milam gets back, and we'll see what that looks like. But there's not a desperation for it to happen anytime soon.
No, I think it's interesting because I think the defense has stood out more because of the turnovers, but I think the offense has more candidates there. In part because we expected certain levels of performance out of Josh Hines Allen and Trayvon Walker and other guys like that. So if you want to share your thoughts, and if you haven't already on social media, let us know at 641-1010 on the Checkmate Coatings phone lines. John Oer from Jaguars.com will join us when we return in just a moment for hour number 2, your Chad and Sandy real estate question of the day. Which player through 3 weeks has most exceeded your personal expectations for them for the Jacksonville Jaguars? This is Jaguars Today on 1010XL and 92.5 FM. Hey, folks, Mike Dempsey here for my friends at Dandy Foods. Been talking about Dandy for about a decade, maybe longer than that now. And every time I talk about their delicious products or the fact that they're a family business serving Jacksonville for nearly 70 years, all that is true. Fantastic, high-quality ingredients used in every Dandy product. But one thing I probably don't say enough, Dandy doesn't freeze their food. Never frozen. Made fresh, delivered fresh, and that's a big difference. You'll see other brands out there that are more likely just thawed out and called fresh, but Dandy is not that way. And you can tell it in the bread. All delicious and soft, not dry and crumbly. Nobody wants a dried out sandwich or sub, and the Thompson family understands that. So when you see the logo with the little guy with the cane on the label, it tells you you're going to get a trusted brand, a local brand, a quality sandwich made with fresh bread and fresh meats and cheeses. When you're hungry in Duval, Dandy's the name to know. So do what I do. Stop it at the nearest Dailies and make yours a Dandy, and do it today.
Jaguars Today.
You're at the home of the Jaguars in the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios. Superior products, exceptional service. He's our big hitter.
I'm Jaguars Today's middle linebacker, Tom McManus.
He tackles Jags talk from a middle linebacker's point of view. Fridays on 1010XL. Protected by Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
When you need a mechanic you can trust, visit AA Automotive on Richard Street. From oil changes to complex repairs, AA Automotive is a full-service repair shop for personal and commercial fleet vehicles. Trust AA to keep your ride running A-OK.
It's Awaken 180 Weight Loss Wednesday.
On Jaguars Today.
With Lee and Kate's Glass, you're gonna see a big difference.
Hey folks, it's Frank Frangie for Lee and Kate's Glass. They say you're going to see a big difference, but what does that really mean? It means a live local person on the phone, a smooth, easy process, skilled craftsmen, and excellent customer service all around, with your satisfaction absolutely guaranteed. Visit leeandkatesglass.com.
With Lee and Kate's Glass, you're gonna see a big difference.
The Friday Night Lights are shining even brighter as 1010XL has partnered with Channel 4 to bring you Friday Night Lights, a live streaming show at 7 o'clock every Friday, presented by Farrah and Farrah on the social media channels of 1010XL and Channel 4.
Lauren Brooks here for Terminix. When mice and rats show up in your home or business, they can be a real pain. You need them out fast, before they have time to multiply. Terminix knows how to shut down rodents and will keep them from coming back to wreak more havoc. When rodents show up, so does Terminix. Don't live with a rodent problem, Terminix it. Visit Terminix.com today to schedule a free inspection online just like I did. That's TERMINIX.com. TERMINIX.com.
Home of the Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Hey, this is Lauren Brooks. With over 1,600 five-star Google reviews, it was a no-brainer to have Closets by Design help us get organized at home. They create custom storage solutions for every space, lifestyle, and budget. From closets to garages to laundry rooms and more. Closets by Design will transform clutter into seamless organization. Call today to schedule a free in-home consultation and get 40% off plus an extra 15% off with free installation. But only until September 30th. 18 months financing is available. Call 904-878-9393 or visit closetsbydesign.com.
Beaches Jewelry and Pawn is celebrating 30 years with a huge new and used firearms sale all September. It's the perfect time to save during Florida's Second Amendment sales tax holiday. 0 sales tax on firearms at Beaches Jewelry and Pawn in Jacks Beach.
Bueller. Stay cooler with Bueller.
Hey, Jason, thanks for coming over so quick.
Sure thing, pal. What's the big...
Whoa! See, I told you there was a smell.
Yeah, it smells like...
Exactly, or a dead one more like it.
You need some fresh air in here.
Well, this is the problem, Jason. I've kept everything sealed up tight all summer long so I don't lose all my nice cool air. Now all the dog smells and cooking smells and home gymnasium man cave smells are all building up and I can barely...
Dude, where are the Bueller sunglasses I gave you?
Oh, I don't know. They must be in my other...
Put on my emergency pair.
Whoa.
Bueller Air and Plumbing can install an air purification add-on to your existing air conditioner. Clean the air of dust and pollen and funky smells while you cool.
So I can keep all the cool air I saved up?
And your place won't smell like a dead...
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
This is your local sports update. I'm RJ Saunders for 1010XL. This update brought to you by YMCA of Florida's First Coast. The Atlantic Coast Conference has announced that Florida State will host Miami on October 4th at 7:30 p.m. at Doak Campbell Stadium. The game will air nationally on ABC. The Noles are 3-0 and will open ACC play this Friday at Virginia before hosting the Hurricanes. Miami also undefeated and is idle this week before the FSU game. Single game tickets are sold out for this contest. Right now, 86 degrees at 10:59. Time and 10 brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch. It's time for Oh No's with Jaguars.com's John Oer. Oh No's. Oh, really? Oh, yeah. Served up by Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, scenic views.
All right, Johnny O has joined the conversation, or at least he's about to here on Jaguars Today. There you go. Say something, John.
I'm here.
There you go. Hello. How's your headset doing over there?
It's right here.
Okay, I see you like you were in a state of panic as we were coming into the segment right there. Good to see you.
Trying to be there for you.
Good to see you on your toes, sir. John, let's jump in quickly with a look back at the Jags improving to 2-1 against Houston Texans. What did you learn about this Jaguar football team? We tend to feel like we always learn something definitive every game, and that's not always the case. But do you think we've learned anything about them? Not only that game, but just so far through 3 weeks.
Yeah, I'd say through 3 weeks, and this probably wouldn't surprise anybody. They're a team that clearly believes in what it can be, or believes in how it wants to play. This is a little aside from the main point, but in the second half, when they couldn't run in the first half, they stuck with the run in the second half, and got what Liam called dirty yards. Shows me that no matter what happens in a game, they're going to keep going back to that. They feel like they have to do that. So I think you learned that even when it's tough, they're going to stick with the run. More importantly, I think you learned that they're through 3 games, they're a more resilient team, and they're going to fight. And anybody who saw the games last year felt the same way everybody did. Once the Texans got that touchdown and then they were driving, it felt like 24 all over. The Texans were driving. It felt like how many games last year got away from them like that. They stopped the bleeding and went and got the win. And I thought that was as impressive on that front as anything this franchise has done since it started sliding in 23. So I was impressed with that. I think we learned that.
I don't think the drops since Trevor Lawrence have gotten here have ever not been to some degree part of the story with what's going on around Trevor Lawrence. But this year it has been more exaggerated, right, than it has been in years past. And I think speaking to what you just spoke to, it's the resilience, right? Like there have been plenty of games where we've seen that kind of thing happen. And it's like, well, that was the one shot they had today. Like that, they're not going to be able to create that again. But they've been able to overcome those kind of things this year, given that the team is just built a little bit differently or the attitude's a little bit different. But the drops right now are probably the story for the football team. And I don't know how they get that fixed unless they just fix it.
Yeah, I think something you said too. Absolutely last year, it always felt like if they didn't take advantage of that one shot or that one moment, oh, here we go. I could start writing my story as soon as they didn't, knowing that it was going the wrong way. The drops, it doesn't feel to me, the drops the other day, I've gotten a million questions about, does he throw the ball too hard? Is something Trevor's doing? I'm not going to say I haven't seen that in the past, but the drops the other day didn't feel like that. I mean, maybe you guys saw something different, maybe one, but the ball Brian Thomas Jr. dropped on, I don't call it a comeback, but on in the fourth quarter, that wasn't a hard throwing ball. He just dropped it. So how do you fix it?
The one he went up for early and got the two hands on wasn't.
Yeah, I think Trevor could have thrown that deeper.
Maybe, but I mean, it was still, he went up, got two hands firmly on the football.
Right.
You got to pull that in and secure it.
You see great receivers make that play all the time.
And that's not to say Trevor can't play better, right?
Sure.
I've seen Daniel Griffiths tweeted this out. Jags offensive miscues, 13 drops, most in the league. 15 offensive penalties, which is tied for most in the league, and 4 interceptions, which is tied for second in the league. So it's not just the drops.
And Trevor's had some balls, we saw it the other day, 2 or 3 balls a game where it's 4 yards incomplete, where you're like, that should be a throw that you make at this point. So he's got to clean that up as well. I think he'd be the first to say it. So, yeah, it's and then strangely enough, I feel like over the course of 3 games, we've seen a sample size where they can move the ball offensively. So I don't feel like it's not going to be there. how do you fix drops? I've been covering this league 30, not 40 yet, but 30. And every time I've ever asked that question or had to ask around me, the coach has always tried to answer, but there's no answer.
They generally say focus, concentration, things like that,
And they usually step off the podium and say, catch the ball.
Right.
Yeah. So
it is interesting, though, how full-throated Liam Cohen's defense was of Parker Washington and has lost no confidence in him. He had a couple of big drops in this game. And I get it. He was, had played well and apparently practiced well last week, and that's why he was going to be a big part of the game plan. But let's presume De'Ami Brown doesn't play this week. All right, I don't know that. You don't know that. Nobody knows, but they're being very close to the vest about his potential availability and what he's going through exactly. What do they do if Brian Thomas keeps dropping the football? You know what? Is Travis Hunter ready for 10-plus targets in this offense?
I doubt it, just because I don't know that he's going to run the same kind of routes that Brian Thomas Jr. does. I'm not sure he's a route runner yet as much as a playmaker. And I think they're going to design things to get him the ball, but I don't think he necessarily takes the place of the other wide receivers. I think if Brian Thomas Jr. keeps throwing the ball, keeps dropping the ball, I think you saw it late in the game. I think you have to keep throwing it to him.
Yeah, even beyond, he's going to get his targets, right? And so, how do you make up for the absence? Like, do you take a few shots down the field? Like, I feel like they've tried to gimmick up or scheme up some short area touches, get the ball in Travis Hunter's hands, and let his athleticism take over. We only had the one this week, but he made two guys miss.
Right.
I think we'd all like to see
more
him get a few more opportunities at least to do that.
And then I think you'll see him circle back. There was the play against Carolina where Trevor just barely underthrew it, and interception. J.C. Horn got it, where Travis was clearing, and if it had been slightly better thrown ball, it's probably a touchdown. I'm not saying he can't run any routes. I'm just saying I don't know that he's going to go play another receiver's position and give them what those other receivers give. I think he has to stick with the position he's playing. And I think they'll do a better job of scheming to make sure he gets touches. Are they all deep down the field? I doubt it. But I think you'll see a lot more in the areas where you've seen him, a lot more creativity getting there.
Do you think Tim Patrick becomes a bigger part of the game plan? Or do they, is he a very specific role guy? You know what I mean? Like, he's going to be a run blocker among the wide receivers and kind of a red zone jump ball guy. Does his role expand beyond that?
I think they're fine with using him out in the rest of the field. I think one reason why they talked Parker Washington up so much when he was asked about it the last couple of days, they really feel like Brian Thomas Jr., Parker Washington, Travis Hunter, if De'Ami Brown is healthy, those are their guys. And they're not going to open a magic door and pull somebody out to replace Parker Washington. They need him to get going. Or they need him to not drop the pass he dropped the other day. There's full faith in him because they think he's one of their four.
Oh, yeah. He had a great offseason. He had a very good training camp. He was making plays every single day. It is interesting because I do think probably the confidence they're hoping to see a full bounce back from Brian Thomas Jr. this week. And he made the big play when they needed it. But it wasn't
a full bounce back.
It was not a full bounce back, right? And so we're just trying to be fair to the whole picture. Just one win doesn't fix every issue that you potentially have moving forward. They got to continue to get better as they get into the heart of the schedule.
No, a team like San Francisco, I'm not saying you have to play perfectly, but I don't think you can have a group as dysfunctional as the receivers were with the drops for a long time on Sunday. It's hard to imagine them going out and having one of their cylinders offensively not firing and have a chance to win that game. The receivers have to catch the ball on Sunday.
Yeah, I think this, San Fran, and to a degree, the Jags kind of mucked this game up and won it, right? It was not a aesthetically pretty game. They weren't flying up and down the field, right? But I feel like that's been San Francisco's season, and they're ready for that kind of thing. And so we'll see if the Jags are up for the challenge on Sunday. John Oer is here. Again, if you'd like to get in, 641-1010 on the Checkmate Coatings phone lines or the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures. We'll talk with John about some of the players who have exceeded his early season expectations through the first 3 games as well. Coming up, you're listening to Jaguars Today on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today.
From the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios of 1010XL. It's the one they put in high gear.
Keep going. We got to keep going, keep going, keep going.
It's the Randy Marriott Cadillac of Jacksonville drive of the game. Drive to the game in luxury with Randy Marriott Cadillac of Jacksonville on 1010XL.
This is your escape. This is your next adventure. This is Mazda, and this is Mazda at the Avenues. Lauren Brooks here. Right now, purchase any new Mazda model, and Mazda at the Avenues will match your down payment or your payments for 1 full year. Plus, every new Mazda comes with 3 years, 36,000 miles of maintenance at no additional charge to you. This is luxury, and this is the start of something new. This is Mazda at the Avenues. For complete details, call 904-430-8047.
Awaken 180 weight loss.
Jaguars Today, Wednesday.
Interested in a unique date night? Gibby here. I took my wife Nikki to Wick a Candle Bar. She made her own custom candle right there in the store. Shop local at Wick a Candle Bar. Locations in San Marco and Jacks Beach.
Frank Frangie here, telling you about my daughter Amber's journey with Awaken 180. She's lost 60 pounds. Can you believe that? And she just took a road trip. The reason is it's not a diet, it's a lifestyle change. Call 844-346-1800 or visit awaken180weightloss.com.
You already know it's your main man, E to the T, here for Twin Peaks, home of the 29-degree draft. And with ball season here, make sure you're on the lookout for my instant reactions before, during, or after the game. All brought to you by Twin Peaks, home of the 29-degree drafts. Come on, somebody.
This is Hayes Carline for First Florida Credit Union. I bank with First Florida Credit Union because I trust them. I can always count on them when it comes to the vast services they provide. The online banking services are outstanding. So easy to use. Depositing checks through the mobile app is fast and efficient. First Florida Credit Union was voted Best Credit Union in the Best of Bold City Community Choice Awards for 3 years running, and it's easy to see why. You need to be banking with First Florida Credit Union. They're enriching people every day. Federally insured by NCUA, Equal Housing Opportunity Lender.
Now is the right time to order your holiday decorating from Kuhn Flowers. This is ET with 1010XL, and Kuhn Flowers will do your holiday tree decorating, including all of your lights. Wow. So call Kuhn Flowers today. They'll do it all this fall.
Hey everybody, it's Mike Dempsey, and I'd like to only recommend the very best, which is why I'm proud to say that I chose Pella Windows and Doors for my own home. Now's a great time to upgrade your home with 0% financing for up to 72 months. That's 6 years of interest-free payments with Pella on the best windows and doors in the business. Don't wait. Schedule a free consultation at PellaJacks.com or just visit their showroom on Phillips Highway just north of Bay Meadows for quality you can trust and savings you can't miss. That's Pella Windows and Doors.
Keeping kids active is a full-time job for parents, so let I-9 Sports help. They've got winter and spring registration open right now for kids all over the First Coast to enjoy their favorite sports. Log on to i9sports.com and don't miss out on the upcoming seasons. Enter 1010 in the promo code.
Jacksonville's building a fence along the goal line. This is the Superior Fence and Rail Defensive Player of the Game. Superior Fence and Rail, where quality matters.
Jordan Lewis was incredible against Houston. The Jacksonville cornerback tallied 4 tackles versus the Texans, with 3 being solo, and he also nabbed an interception in what was a clutch performance. Number 2 knew what to do to seal a victory for this young squad, and he's your Superior Fence and Rail's defensive player of the game.
You waited forever for your new fence. Then strangers show up. Subcontractors rushing the job. Sent by the company you trusted. Frustrating, right? Superior Fence and Rail promises better. Their professionally trained builders deliver quality you can trust. No subcontractors, no shortcuts. Just the superior craftsmanship your home deserves.
When you're on the fence, about the fence, SuperiorFenceandRail.com.
Blue here for the Blue Crab House, located right off of San Jose. It's on Jewington Creek Road. They've been around since 1996. Indoor-outdoor dining. Also, takeout is available at the Blue Crab House. Open 4:30 to 9, Tuesday through Saturday. Sunday, noon until 9. Remember, Tuesday, $2 margaritas. Wednesday, $1 oyster night. How about the blue crabs? How about my personal favorite, the Canadian snow crabs? Whatever it is that you fancy, you get it right there. The Blue Crab House.
1010XL, presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah.
Oh No's.
Served up by Twin Peaks, home of the 29-degree draft on 1010XL.
Nothing yet. We'll kind of get that stuff out to in the injury report today.
Liam Cohen, injury report. We're not going to tell you anything about Diami. You think he's got a chance, though, from what you
I think so.
understand, to play?
He was back on the sidelines the other day. I think not. I didn't say it, but somebody told me not in a sling, like not looking like a player who might be able to.
I saw him like he looked like he was just inactive. And he was just kind of walking around.
So that's, again, it always takes a little bit of time to figure out how first-year coaches are going to address injuries, what their non-saying things mean, and then you kind of, over time, he said that about this guy, so that probably means this. Liam doesn't really give you very much on that front, but the fact that he was on the sidelines like that, I think means he has a shot. And I think when you guys said in the break, it sounds like it'll be, limited, questionable, and then we'll see. So that would be my guess, but I don't know that officially.
Do you think that regardless of whether Diami plays, are they is Travis Hunter in this game more important for offense or defense to this team?
I think he's always right now. I'm going to lean defense because he's better on defense right now, and more important, and they rely on it, and that consistency is really important. To your point, though, he's important on offense because now they need some sort of dynamic play. Mm-hmm. They've shown, to me, they can run. They've shown they can get the guys open. They haven't shown they can catch consistently, and they haven't really had that splash, big play moment. I wrote at some point later this week, BTJ and Travis Hunter, if the offense is going to be what it's supposed to be, over the course of the season, they need 5, 6, 7 big plays apiece that are going.
Hey, look, Diami had a chance this week. Trevor just overthrew him a little bit.
So they haven't hit that yet. Travis being a guy who can not only hit that, but can turn a 15-yard play into one of that. I think it feels like if they're going to win, they need something dynamic from him this weekend that we haven't seen yet.
Yeah, I think at some point the passing game is going to have to be effective enough to get defenses to not do what I think Houston showed defenses are going to do now.
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
For a while against the Jaguars, week one, I think the whole league can look at it and go, well, that's Carolina. They haven't been able to stop the run in a decade, right? So week two, Cincinnati just plays whatever their defense is, still trying to figure it out a little bit. Now the whole league knows if you give the Jags an opportunity, they're going to run the ball. Right? Like they want to be a team that's going to be doing that. So I think they're going to see a lot more where a lot of their opponents are going to be focused on their run is not going to beat us today.
No doubt.
And until they show something in the pass game that can beat them, you're not going to get them out. And I do think Hunters can play a big part in making that kind of thing happen if they can find ways to expand whatever his role is going to be in the offense.
Yeah, you have 14 games left. I'm not saying every team's going to take that tact, but I think more teams than not will take that tact. And your playmakers on the outside, which we all or I certainly believe during training camp, that that the speed on this team, including De'Ami Brown, Brian Thomas Jr., and Travis Hunter, were going to be huge factors in why the offense was better. I thought there were going to be a lot of explosive plays. I thought that speed was really going to matter. That hasn't become a huge factor yet, although I thought it was on the 46-yarder the other day.
Yeah, I mean, it's right. It's 3 games. The whole story's not written. But through those 3 games, John, we're talking today about players that have consistently surprised you through these first 3 weeks of the season. Offensively, who are those guys that stand out to you?
I don't know if it's been that many surprises offensively, just because I expected Brenton Strange to be really good. I don't know that I expected him to be this good. I think he's one of the best 3 or 4 players on the team. And so I don't know that I expected just this really high, consistent level that I know you can trust now. The receivers, I guess, too, Bayshell Tootin is starting to be that guy. Although, again, I had heard so much about what they expected that it didn't shock me. So maybe I go Ezra Cleveland, who when healthy, is probably the best. Is probably the best offensive lineman on the team right now. And
what about Anton?
I'd say when healthy, Ezra Cleveland's.
Still think he's better?
Well,
I'm just asking.
Yeah, Anton certainly. Anybody who watched him the last couple of years has to be very pleasantly surprised at the consistency, because you knew he had high level of play in him. So am I surprised he's this consistent? Maybe. I mean, because we hadn't seen it before. But they've gotten really good play out of those two guys.
Yeah, Cleveland's been very good. I mean, I have no issue with that whatsoever. I do think that, we talked about it, Tony and I, before you got in, that the way they set it up with Anton needing to, kind of do the right things. And there weren't many other guys that were singled out like that.
No.
And so
Multiple times.
I think that puts some doubt into your mind whether or not that's going to happen. And they were playing with different offensive line combinations, and you don't know what's in the back of their mind. Are they doing that because they're trying to upgrade Walker Little and press him there, or do they want to see what, we got to get a Doga on the field or whomever it is? And I just think Anton has played probably his best football, at least for a 3-game stretch.
No, they were very specific, unusually specific, multiple times in the offseason training camp, that it was competition there, and Anton's a first-round pick. A lot of times, first-round picks never get that kind of competition. So it's been impressive.
You mentioned Bajal Tootin. What do you make of what ETN's been able to do through 3 weeks?
Yeah, I guess I overlooked him because I've considered him such a consistent player for so long, but then he wasn't that consistent last year. He has played remarkably. His preparation has been they're ecstatic with his professionalism, his approach to what he's done. I guess the best thing I say about Travis Etienne, he has to be playing remarkably well for Tootin not to be starting, because the belief is, and I think he's shown flashes of it, that Tootin's going to be a starter here for a long time and a star. For Travis to have held him off in this situation shows you how well Travis is playing.
Yeah, that's why I put him in that group too. I think it's those 3 guys particular, and maybe Hainsey to some degree as well, because Tony and I talked about it. We just didn't quite know what we were getting in Hainsey. Right. Like Hainsey and Eric Murray were described as guys that were going to get everybody else mentally ready to go. But there wasn't a whole lot of talk about, hey man, we're getting this guy.
The easy way to write about Hainsey was Hainsey, a backup in Tampa,
Hainsey, who was replaced by a rookie last year. And
that was his story, and he's outplayed that story.
Absolutely. And you had to love it. Him finishing that play, that Brenton Strange catch, where he got a little chunk of Azeez Al-Shaair. You know the one I'm talking about, where
I giggled a little bit.
Brenton Strange ran through it, and then Hainsey just kind of gave him a little love tap right at the end. And that's fully legal. And,
NFL, baby.
But to see the Jags finish a play like that with that kind of desire and effort and physicality, and that has been something this team has been pushed around in recent years.
And that's the other thing I think you learned. You asked me at the top. That's probably it more than anything, is when Trevor talked in the post game about we're not going to be bullied, that sort of was the bow on the whole week to me. That was their theme going in. They've shown, I don't know how many games they're going to win, but I think we saw the other day the kind of team they're going to be. And it's a team that's not going to be pushed around.
We also saw what this game meant to them, Tony, with the reaction of Liam Cohen, James Gladstone, and Tony Baselli in the tunnel.
Goodness.
Right? Like, you would have thought they clinched a playoff berth.
Yeah.
And I get it. There's a big stepping stone on the way. They haven't beaten this team in Jacksonville and Houston since 2017, or at least they hadn't. So I understand it. It's just we haven't seen that kind of reaction for an early regular season game in, I don't know, ever.
Right. Well, and I think it's the importance of the game. It's your first divisional matchup. It's the team that's won it the last 2 years, and it's the way that game went. Right? Like, it's the combination of all those things on top of one another that I was very happy to see that kind of energy from the guys that are at the top of the organization, and that will bleed down into the locker room, right? Like, that's exactly what you want to see those guys react like that too.
Well, and they believe, and I think they believe correctly, that they're building something, and part of that identity, as you guys have alluded to, part of building something is establishing an identity that you're going to win those kind of games, and you don't get to the point of a mature franchise that's winning games easily. You don't go from 4-13 usually to blowing everybody out consistently, you never really do it in the NFL. But you know what I'm saying? You don't go to where you're just
There's
sort of
steps
people
along the way
without going through a phase here where you've got to grind things out. I guess we've heard it so often you get tired of saying it, but there is something about learning how to win and winning those kind of games where you have to punch people.
Yeah. The funny thing, it's like learning how to win. I mean, Josh Hines-Allen knows, hey, it's good to pressure the quarterback and get a hand on the ball if I can. Like, he doesn't need to be taught that.
Right.
It's just that he made that play in that moment. Did he learn how to make that? You know what I mean? Like, it's such a weird thing to learn how to win.
Get used to the feeling. Right.
Yeah.
And I think there's something to, you don't want those guys always reacting that way to everything that happens.
Sure.
Right. But this felt like an appropriate moment for that to be the kind of reaction you get from the guys at the top of the organization.
They won their first scrappy, sloggy game of the year, and they beat a division rival that they still believe is going to be a good team this year in an important game.
Arguably the most important game they'll play all year because it was at home.
Fair.
Now, granted, that changes with Indy's start, you know, but I mean, going into the season, I would have said that's the one you absolutely have to have.
No,
and look, the one in Houston's is important as well, but you got to protect your home field. You got to start protecting your home field better. So we've gone through a few guys on the offensive side. Here's what Liam Cohen said when he was asked this morning. Does he know right now what the team is good at on offense?
Yeah, I think we're getting there. You saw glimpses within the first 2 weeks. You saw glimpses of it on Saturday. The touchdown drive early in the game was operating at the level in which you want to be able to go operate at. And, you know, throwing and catching and just doing those little things can probably lead to having a little bit more balanced execution. You know, in a game like that, this past week where they did some things to take away what we've done best thus far, which was run the football. And, you know, we didn't make them pay in the pass game. So we are still trying to figure out what it is truly we are best at in the pass game and what that looks like. And also from a run scheme standpoint, hey, we got to be able to do what we do best, and people have to stop that as well. Instead of, man, they do this, so we have to do that. It's like, man, we got to go do what we do best.
Well, I think what the Jags want to do best is run the ball. But again, you know, give credit to Houston for coming out with a different look with a 5-man off defensive line front. And the Jags took about a half to adjust to it. I would imagine that we're going to continue to see things like that going forward until the Jags prove, particularly with Diami banged up right now, in the spate of drops that they're having. If I'm a defensive coordinator around the league, prove to me your passing game can beat me for 60 minutes because I you know, that's in question, I think, right now.
Yeah, and that's not an unusual – that's not just specific to the Jaguars. I think you asked me in the pregame when I was on with you and JP about the running game, and I said it's going to be interesting to see what they do when the first time a team says we're going to stop this. Mm-hmm. What are they going to do to respond? And I thought it was to have come out in the second half and gotten those dirty yards the way they did, I thought was really significant to show the league plus the team, hey, even when we get stopped, we're going to come back in, we're going to figure out, and we're going to keep being this. Over the long haul, Trevor and these receivers have to show they can beat that defense or they're going to lose games because of it.
You love the dirty yards.
I love dirty yards.
I mean, is it not evident? John loves that phrase.
Well, thank goodness we haven't had to spend the whole week talking about what they got done in the second half, like staying committed to the run. Thank goodness we haven't had to spend the whole week talking about those 2 terrible holding calls, right? Which could have had a big impact on the outcome in that game.
Yeah.
It did feel like they were finally getting to that, and this is what we're going to do to you in the second half, and the officials stepped in. And it puts them behind it so far that you have to kind of go away from it, at least temporarily. Hopefully, you know, that's just a bad moment for the officials a couple of times there. They were able to overcome all that kind of stuff this week.
You know what those holds prevented? Dirty yards.
Dirty yards. or set up future dirty yards later in the half. All right, we'll come back. Let's give the same treatment to some of the guys on the defensive side here who is jumping out ahead of what you thought they might through 3 weeks. Again, if you want to get in, you know the way to do it. John Oer is here with us on this Wednesday. You're listening to Jaguars Today on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today from the Renewal by Andersen Custom Windows and Doors Studios. 1010XL is your home for play-by-play of Bishop Kenny football.
The Crusaders and Braves battle on the banks of the St. Johns River. Parker Bishop Kenny. Friday night at 7 on 92.5 FM.
This is Hayes Carlyon. Hear from a driver who made the smart move to buying a vehicle from Atlantic Infinity.
Hayes, this is my second Infinity, so I knew exactly what I wanted. And Atlantic Infinity made it so easy for me. The GM Dwayne had my new ride ready to go, and I was in and out of the dealership in about 30 minutes. The Atlantic Infinity promise just sealed the deal for me. It's $2,500 in added value, including roadside assistance. I am so happy with my new car.
Atlantic Infinity, Atlantic, near St. John's Bluff.
September is Prostate Cancer Awareness Month. Here's a reminder to get screened. Ackerman Cancer Center offers on-site imaging and other diagnostic services. Early detection saves lives. Visit AckermanCancerCenter.com.
Need protection? Call Craig and Christine Kaprosky at Goosehead Insurance. The Kaproskys are a husband-wife team committed to finding you the right coverage at the right price in just a few short minutes. For home, auto, flood, or specialty insurance, Craig and Christine Kaprosky are the answer. Craig.Kaprosky at Goosehead.com.
Florida Home AC, the official AC partner of the Jaguars. Make them your AC partner with honest cost estimates before they start the work with no hidden fees. Call 777-4300 for Florida Home AC.
This football season, Hurricane Grill and Wings is your game day getaway. Catch every play with the perfect drink in hand. Handcrafted cocktails like the Millionaire Margarita, Spicy Guavarita, Old Fashioned, or the Red Bullerita. Beer more your style to watch the games? Enjoy an ice cold Bud Light. Game day cocktails and Bud Light specials are here all season long at Hurricane Grill and Wings. Find a restaurant near you at hurricanewings.com.
Fall is here. The air is crisp. Football is on, and the perfect backyard atmosphere starts with a high-quality fireplace from CSS Fireplaces and Outdoor Living. Hey, it's Joe C. Imagine nights by the fire, cheering on your team, surrounded by friends and family. CSS can transform your outdoor space into the ultimate game day destination. Stylish, warm, and built for memories. With several wood, gas, and electric options, let CSS make your backyard the best seat in the house. Visit CSSFireplaces.com.
At the First Coast YMCA, you'll find much more than just a gym. We offer many ways to help you become more active, reach your weight loss goals, and find your inner strength. Membership at the Y includes state-of-the-art facilities, a huge variety of fitness classes, and programs for all ages. It's easy to join the Y since it's affordable for all incomes. The Y is a great place to make connections and experience something new. Visit the YMCA near you or online at fcymca.org.
Are you trapped in a high-rate mortgage, watching your hard-earned money vanish every month? Stop right now. At Loan Pronto, they are delivering the lowest mortgage rates in 3 years. Hey, Prosser here. Loan Pronto's rate reduction home loan program is a streamlined, low-cost way to slash your house payments by hundreds of dollars a month. Lock in at a fixed rate as low as 4.99% APR and close in as little as 2 weeks. No appraisal needed in most cases. And here's the kicker. You can skip your next 2 house payments entirely. Don't wait. Rates this low won't last. Call Loan Pronto now for your free, no-obligation quote. Loan Pronto is amazing. So start now by calling 904-999-1508. That's 904-999-1508. Or visit loanpronto.com to lock in your new low rate and skip those next 2 payments. 999-1508 or loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, NMLS, consumeraccess.org.
If you're at home on the range, tee it up with the Edwin Watts Golf Hour. Tour news, local updates, and the latest gear. The Edwin Watts Golf Hour. Saturday morning at 10 on 1010XL. 1010XL, presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch.
Oh noes.
Served up by Twin Peaks, home of the 29-degree draft on 1010XL.
All right, keep those replies coming. Getting a lot of good ones coming in on social media for the player or players who've most exceeded your expectations through 3 games. We weighed in on the offensive side with John Oer. We'll get the defense coming up. But first, let's take a look around the rest of the NFL with Tony Smith.
Now, gems around the NFL Brought to you by Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jax Beach.
Houston has released cornerback Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. Philadelphia quickly signed him to a one-year, $6 million deal. Tennessee has traded cornerback Jarvis Brownlee Jr. and a 7th-round pick to the New York Jets in exchange for a 6th-round pick. The New York Jets have signed linebacker Mark Robinson off of New England's practice squad after news came out yesterday that Quincy Williams will have to miss some time due to a shoulder injury. They're saying it's not season-ending, but the expectation is that he will be being put on short-term IR at least. The New York Giants have announced that Jackson Dart will get his first career start for them this week over Russell Wilson. Tampa Bay wide receiver Mike Evans is expected to miss multiple games due to a hamstring injury that he suffered on Sunday. And Washington wide receiver Terry McLaurin is seeking further opinions on the quad injury he suffered this weekend, but no word yet on whether he'll be available this week or not.
Yeah, I'm seeing very much in doubt for him this weekend. The thing with C.J. Gardner-Johnson, man, I hate to see guys get rewarded for being turds. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like he want more money up front. So they converted most of his salary into a signing bonus, which gives it all to him right then. And then he decides, I'm not happy with how I'm being used, trade me. And I'm guessing they asked around, right? Because why cut a guy if you can get something for him? And then they just let him go, and he's back with the Super Bowl champions making another $6 million on top of what he was making in
that's
Houston.
not a happy ending story.
I just don't get, and look, Philadelphia's a world championship organization. They can probably assimilate a few turds into the locker room. He was there last year, so they know how to handle him. But
they're getting one they know.
Golly, man. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, he's clearly not that good. I mean, he's good, or he wouldn't keep getting these chances. But everywhere he goes, he wears out his welcome.
Yeah.
You know?
I've always said, if I'm in that position as the team, I said, no, we're not going to trade you, but we'll see you in a couple weeks.
Right.
We're not going to play you.
We're not going to. Exactly.
I still think that's what they should have done way back with Jalen.
Exactly.
Thank you. But, you just won't play and see.
Jalen did it for him, though. And
right.
You know.
But I would have said,
I was going to sit here and collect my money.
That's fine.
I understand what you're saying. Like, I don't like the same thing. Like, I'm
see in a few years.
Trade me. Why?
Right.
I see that from other people saying the same. Like, the Cleveland Browns should trade Shedeur Sanders. Why?
Right.
He's on their roster. Anyone else could have had him, or anybody else for that matter. A team doesn't owe the player the best chance. They owe them what they contractually owe them. That's what they owe them.
He's in his 7th season, and now he's going to change teams for the 5th time. Now, he's been in Philadelphia twice, so they're comfortable with whatever the antics are, but he's a guy that just gets bounced around.
But think about that. I mean, like Philly, like we're world champs. Let's get him out of here, right? Like they knew. By the way, the guy they got back, was Kenyon Green? He's been released as well because in the initial trade for him. So it wasn't like either one of them were worth a damn. At least Gardner-Johnson was perceived not to be worth the juice wasn't worth the squeeze at that point in time. So all right, we'll leave that. That's their problem or not their problem anymore in Houston. But John, defensively for the Jaguars. Certainly there's some guys that we have high expectations for, including the edge rushers. They're not surprising. Has Eric Armstead exceeded your expectations, or has he met them, or how do you feel about the way he's played?
Well, I was going to go with turnovers.
Okay. Turnover, right. Yeah. So somebody said, we asked what player most exceeded your expectation, and we got a reply, turnovers on defense.
No doubt.
Okay.
Well, okay.
Johnny Turnovers.
Johnny Turner. You got to play
Gritty turnovers. Dirty turnovers.
Yeah, I think Armstead exceeded expectations. I think it's what you sort of expected when you signed him.
Right.
So, but certainly a success story. Yeah, I mean, I would say he exceeded expectations because at that point, you didn't know what to expect, and he's been really good. So, yeah, it's fair. I mean,
I don't know. Like, I wouldn't put him in that category. Honestly, I expect him to play based on his career, what they invested in him. I feel like last year, we're throwing that out.
But so often when a story goes sideways like that did last year, it never gets going in the right direction.
Back on the right track.
So I guess seeing that not go well in the past, or not come back from that, seeing players not come back from that, I guess I'm a little surprised that it's been this. Yep, worked. Like,
no, I got you. And look, and it's your expectations versus mine versus Tony, so we all expect different things.
And I feel like it goes off the rails like that more often for veteran players who may be at the end of their careers, right? Like this is kind of the last crack at it for them.
And he could have gone in and been the requested trade guy. I mean, which a lot of, happens around the league. But he came back and put his nose to the grindstone, so to speak, and has been good.
Devin Lloyd obviously is
he's number one with a bull. I mean, he's far and away the most surprising player on defense just because he's playing to the level of a first-round pick, which there had been inconsistencies before. He hadn't done that before. So, he's a major surprise.
Yeah, and certainly several candidates in the secondary as well. We'll get to them, or we'll get to some of your responses coming up on social media here in a moment. Let's get a call or two in. Next up, we've got Paul in Jacksonville Beach. Paul, you're on Jaguars Today. Go ahead.
Hey, I'm going to tell you something right now. Mr. Gardner-Johnson is a heck of a player. You're just mad because the Jaguars didn't sign him. You know we need corner.
Thanks, Paul.
What are you talking about?
What are you talking about? Like,
are we mad?
I'm not in the least bit mad that the Jaguars don't have C.J. Gardner-Johnson. Paul, I don't know, disaffected Texan fan? Not sure what Paul is right there. Good contribution to the show, though. Darren, you're next up here on Jaguars Today. Good morning, Darren.
Hey, good morning. Johnny, I love listening to you during the week on all the different shows. Really a lot of good insight. Speaking to which, I want you to speak to, I believe that this has probably been one of the most physical teams. Every GM and head coach comes in and says, we're going to be physical. Well, it's football. But very seldom do you see such a rapid turnaround from what this team has been in the past. And I believe going to San Francisco, this could really cement, even though they're down in some players, they're a very strong organization and have always – there was nothing more embarrassing. I thought they could have named their own score, San Fran, when they came to Jacksonville last. That was probably the most embarrassed I'd been at a ball game because it literally looked like an NFL team against a high school team. And we still have a lot of the same players, but they're playing different. And I think this is a team now that is truly going to be rugged and be physical. And I want you to speak to that. Is that their identity? Is that who we are going to be from here on out?
Yeah, I mean, it sure has been through 3 games. And I think you make a good point that I thought the Texans were a big test of that because that's what they wanted to be. You did it at home against a Texans team that really looked like it's got to find a way offensively. Like it's not very good.
Yeah, they're struggling on the offensive side.
So you did it against in a situation where the other offense couldn't get away from you while you were being physical. This weekend's a little bit of a different beast because this 49ers offense can, they've shown they can start once they get going, they're hard to stop.
They can, but this year's version hasn't been that.
Right. So I absolutely think I'm writing it at some point this week. This isn't a must-win for the Jags, but it's a huge opportunity to show you can go out and play what you know. Even though San Francisco hasn't been winning big, they're 3-0, and you know that they are capable of winning 8, 9, 10 games this year. They're a good team, organized. They believe in what they're doing. They're a team with an identity. You go out and win that on the road, it's a major statement. I think statement games are overused, but it's a statement that you can be physical. You can go do something you haven't done.
I agree with you. I think there will still be some perception that, San Fran is beat up. They're not full strength. They lost Bosa. All this. But I agree. This is a game that most Jaguar additions in the last 15 years would lose this game without question. You can change the narrative of what you're building here or add to the narrative of what you're building here. Very much so this Sunday. All right, final segment coming up with John Oer, Tony Smith, Dylan Denmark. I'm Mike Dempsey. This is Jaguars Today on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today from the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios of 1010XL.
Hey, it's Travis from Cannons of Jacks. When you need a trailer hitch, gooseneck, or RV towing options, call us at Cannons. We've been doing it for 55 years, and customer service is our #1 priority. Visit cannonsofjacks.com.
It's a Weight Loss Wednesday on Jaguars Today. Awaken 180 Weight Loss, your long-term solution for weight loss.
Life is about choices and the decisions you make. I'm David Robbins with Epstein & Robbins. If you're convicted of a DUI, you'll have to face severe consequences. Walking through the doors of the courthouse or appearing at a bond hearing can be extremely intimidating. Without the right lawyer, you're likely to make the wrong decision. Let our team help you make the right decisions in court. Epstein & Robbins, the right choice.
Epstein & Robbins, fighting for your rights since 1975.
When you roll into a convenience store for some cold Bud Light, you want to make sure it's, well, cold. Check out the big coolers at Circle K. They make sure it's chilled and ready to go for the big game or party. Swing by Circle K and pick up some cold Bud Light.
Mark Watson with Hardball Creative, here to share with you an actual client review.
Dude, these shirts are sick.
Check out the shirts and other sick promo items at hardballcreative.com.
Hardball Creative. Hardball does it all.
I'm here with Clayton Bromberg of Underwoods. You hear about guarantees and warranties. What is Underwood's policy?
Frank, to talk about guarantees and warranties, you have to look at our history of over 70 years in business. Underwood's entire reason for existence is and has been to offer fine products that'll be used with such satisfaction that both the giver and the receiver will want to come back. And hopefully they'll tell their friends about us. To do this means we've got to try our hardest to satisfy every customer. All of our people understand that. Now, I'm sure over the years we've made a few mistakes, but we've never failed to make good on any Underwood product that was returned with a legitimate customer complaint. Our entire reputation would mean nothing if we didn't conduct ourselves that way. Simply put, conducting our business with integrity is a lot more important to Underwoods and our customers than all the guarantees, warranties, and contrived legal obligations in the world. And you've got Underwood's word, my word, and all of our people's word on that.
Underwoods in San Marco, Avondale, and the shops of Ponte Vedra.
Yo, this is Tony from Tony D's. Are you looking for a great slice of pizza? Well, we have about 12 varieties. Most places won't have slices of pizza after lunch. At Tony D's, you can get a slice all day. It's always fresh at Tony D's Pizza. Bay Meadows and 295.
Joe C. for Preferred Roofing, reminding you your roof is more than just felt and shingles. It's a system that not only keeps your home dry, but also impacts your heating and cooling bills. Preferred Roofing and Construction is a GAF Master Elite Roofing Contractor, lauded for having the ability to educate and inform homeowners on their options. Why GAF and Preferred Roofing? They're veteran-owned and operated with ties to Duval for decades. A family business ready to make sure your family has a good roof over its head. Log on, preferredroofingjacks.com.
Looking for a vacation from the ordinary? Celebrate the end of summer at Tobacco Cove. Join us Saturday, September 27th from 1 to 4 p.m. for a sensory getaway with Espinosa's Cigars. Discover exceptional cigars, delicious food, and your chance to win awesome prizes. Tobacco Cove at 3849 Bay Meadows Road. It's more than a cigar store, it's an experience. Don't miss out. Your escape awaits.
When you need plumbing, septic, or air conditioning service, trust matters. That's why more homeowners in Jacksonville choose Duck Duck Rooter, the area's most trusted service company. We're licensed, insured, and the only master septic contractor in Northeast Florida. From small plumbing repairs to major renovations, septic tank pump outs, drain field installations, and full air conditioning service, we do it all. Call 904-862-6769 or visit duckduckrooter.com. Duck Duck Rooter. When you're stuck, call the duck.
1010XL, presented by Farrah & Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farrah doesn't flinch. Now, the cool down with Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing, keeping Jack's cool since 1987.
All right, coming down the stretch here on Jaguars Today, Mike Taraka will join us via the telephone for the Breakfast Bowl tomorrow, but he's made his travel plans going early out to San Francisco.
He's a Frisco guy.
What is he going by? Covered wagon or you know, the West is opening up to Mike Taraka?
Taking a camel, maybe? You got to take some trails.
Possibly. I don't know. I mean, you got to make sure in case you have a 48-hour flight delay, you got to get out Thursday morning.
Wonder what's on the other side of them. There are mountains.
Yeah, right. What's over yonder? Got to go find out. All right, well, that's tomorrow. Today, we asked you through 3 weeks which Jags performance has most exceeded your expectations. Allowing some generalities here. Defense as a whole for Anthony, but Ed's and Devin Lloyd, though he may lose his job, or thought he may lose his job to Ventrell, and he's rocked it so far. I think, yeah. I mean,
it even looked that way week one.
There were co-starters, and Ventrell was out there playing a bunch in week one.
Yeah.
It looked like maybe that was going to be like a kind of a
That's what I thought
hybrid
it was gonna be.
position.
Yeah.
Right? Like Devin Lloyd on early downs, maybe Ventrell on passing downs, something like
Devin's
that.
playing too well for that
right
to
back.
remain the case.
Oh, he is, and good for him. And I get it. Somebody said, hey, he's in the fifth-year option. Well, he's not. He's eating, but he is. I get he's in a contract year. And that does happen. It's a phenomenon. It's hard to ignore. Guys do pop up big in a contract year. So I'm withholding any kind of judgment on the long-term future of some of these Jags in the last year of their deals right now. But Bush Drive Rich goes with all the free agent starters, but adds Devin Lloyd as well. Stingy, fly around the ball defense, takeaways, protecting Trevor with the offensive line. The Brain Trust has my full trust in putting together our new winning culture. And, it's nice to see a few of those guys pop. Jordan Lewis in particular. And really, you go back to the time when Jordan Lewis was the guy, right? I mean, and when free agency opened up,
they went after.
He was the first one that that they signed or agreed to terms.
Unbelievably good signing.
Right. Better than even his career trajectory would suggest, right? He's got a couple of interceptions, one more, and he's matched his career high.
Yeah.
Of course, the Jags are already matching their season high from last year, which has got to be, honestly, the most shocking thing about everything. To get 3 turnovers a game at this point.
Even if you thought they were going to be a good turnover team, 9's a lot.
It's unsustainable,
right?
Is what it is. Right. So hopefully they'll continue to take advantage. More from Devin Lloyd, Jordan Lewis. A lot of people mentioning Robert Hainsey getting some love in there as well. Anton Harrison, I agree with you, Code Blue. He said, I was worried about him in the offseason, but he's playing awesome. Seen a lot of improvements from him. Eric Murray playing like a Pro Bowler. I might not go that far with Eric Murray, but he's made more noticeable plays than I thought he would make at this point in time, and glad he came away. I mean, I don't think that was an intentional helmet-to-helmet shot on Nico Collins. I just think it was one of those circumstances, and he ended up getting the worst of it anyway. So glad he seems to be okay coming out of that, and we'll keep our fingers crossed for good word on De'Ami Brown, as Liam Cohen had nothing to offer on that front, but the injury report, the first of the week, will come out later on this afternoon. We'll get back with Johnny O here in a moment, but first let's welcome in Joe C.
Now, the 2-minute drill is driven by nobody but Nimnicht. Nimnicht Chevrolet on Cassett Avenue and Nimnicht Buick GMC on Phillips Highway.
Good morning, Mr. Coward.
What is up? What is up?
How are you?
I'm good.
That's an interesting
I might be most surprised at this shirt.
Right?
I am red, white, and bluing it up because it is Ryder Cup.
It's the week.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that? I don't know if that. I'd call that a red, white, and blue shirt. I mean, it has red, it has white, it has blue in there.
There's a lot to figure out.
There is a lot going on there.
This is a TLD purchase, and so when she bought it for me, I'm like, hell yeah, I'm wearing that.
Absolutely.
But it's USA cooled up. How about that?
All right, that's fine, because I'm 100% with you on the Ryder Cup.
I need the Johnny O stamp on it.
Since we've already gone down that road, what kind of chance do you give the American side this year?
They need guys that you don't expect to step up, like a Russell Henley. He's a Bulldog for a reason. That type of guy.
He and Scotty opening match? Is that the pairing, you think?
I believe so. They'll have opening ceremonies tonight instead of tomorrow because of the weather. And so we will find out. But they were talking about Scotty and Sam Burns because that was a good pairing before. So we'll see how Keegan Bradley works with it. But you're right. They got to beat the Fleetwoods and Rorys, the combinations that they put together on that side of the ball. They are favored, the Euros, so the Americans can treat themselves like underdogs and use that Bethpage black crowd. I heard a phrase. I don't know if you can appreciate this, but if I can find it, I'll tell you before the end of it. They've been working on AI producing insults for the Europeans. So they've created crowd noise where they can hear them hurling accurate insults.
So they're practicing with crowd noise that has insulting yells at the Euros.
Yes, which is just beautiful.
Hey, you dirty Euro trash.
Yeah, exactly.
Something like that.
Yeah. All right. So this one, it's called the Charm Offensive.
Oh.
Have you ever heard of this?
No.
And so they're going to try and basically endear themselves to that New York crowd because there's a bunch of people that aren't from here that will be in that.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Yourself to the New York crowd. Like it's
Charm Offensive.
Who thinks they're going to? The European team?
Yeah,
Then
the
no
Europeans.
chance.
Right.
Yeah, we'll find out. I'm like, wait a minute. That's another phrase that's been made up in our sports
I expect them to
The
cheer
charm
like crazy
offensive.
for our guys.
I think we can all be friends in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Where do you think you're going?
They can't be.
All right, Joe C., what's coming up on the show?
We'll talk a little bit about that, but there's massive college football matchups, maybe a separation Saturday we might be headed towards, a little bit more on what you guys are talking about with Diami and the health of him, where he's at, and the health of the both quarterbacks, Mac and Brock, out there in San Francisco.
Yeah, I got to believe we're getting Brock Purdy this week. I mean, it felt like it was trending that way at the end of last week. So, go beat them.
Yeah.
Right? Just go beat them, right? Don't be afraid of Brock Purdy or Mac Jones or whomever.
Yeah.
So,
do something good on the West Coast.
all right, have a great show,
Bye,
Joey. With his red, white, and blue, what do you call that? A cow print on the one sleeve? Is that
I'm not sure you call it.
That's a looker right there. No, come on now. Now hop on YouTube and you can stream XL Primetime and check it out for yourself right there. John, where are we going to catch you rest of the week?
I will be on the Huddle Up podcast with Bucky Brooks, and I believe I'm going to speak with Devin Lloyd on the Ozone podcast.
All right,
so looking forward to that.
We'll hear a bunch from Liam Cohen tomorrow on the program. Have a better sense of whether De'Ami Brown's going to get some practice work in as well. Let's hope for the best on that. Thanks to John Oer. Thanks to Matt Mayoko of NBC Sports in the Bay Area for joining us in hour number 1. For Tony Smith and Dylan Denmark, I'm Mike Dempsey. Stick around for XL Primetime coming up next on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.